I wasn't sure which team to pick, so I picked the Islanders because Barry yelled at me. I was going through the teams in alphabetical order.
Oh, that's what you were telling her, the teams.
And then I asked her, well, what about the Rangers? And she gave that really shrill yell. And I'm like, all right, not the Rangers. Got it. I'll go with the Islanders. Fine.
I heard you in here saying different teams.
Yeah.
And I knew you were talking to Bear. That explains why.
Yep.
Okay,
I was asking her which team I should wear. So
that's funny.
There we are.
I had previously planned on wearing Seattle. So. Okay.
Howdy.
Hello, everybody. Okay.
From St. Louis. And hello to St. Louis.
Well, I'm sorry. My allergies are just atrocious, and I know that's irritating. It's irritating to me, too. So.
It's irritating to me, too.
Hello from Maple Ridge.
I deal with it. Maple Ridge is so far away.
It's not.
So very far away. When I was a little kid, I wanted
don't
to
worry,
live in Maple
I have
Ridge,
tea.
So.
It's my tea. Oh, you see my cup backwards. Hold on.
Careful.
My beautiful cup.
Careful. Because it is full.
Ta-da!
There you go.
Crap, what tea did I make me? You would know. Oh, I made myself a jasmine tea. That's right. It took me a second.
What is your problem, little cat?
Oh, multiple people from St. Louis.
Over here.
Wisconsin, Vegas, Central Ohio.
Here, can I carry you like this so you don't scratch up my jersey?
Thunder Bay, LA.
Can I do that?
Florida.
Hey.
We got people from all over the place.
Can I do that?
What is he doing to you? Look at her looking at me just like, Mom, what's he doing? I know.
I'm holding her. She's fine. She'd
So
rather
I'm not
be
the
over
only
my
one
shoulder,
having sinus issues. My eyes are watering like crazy too, and that's obnoxious.
Hey,
hello from Nanaimo.
Hi. You being good,
Anaheim, but a Kings fan. We've met a few Kings fans in Anaheim. We'll be in Anaheim. And how long do we have? Let me see.
Less than 3 weeks.
15 days.
Yeah.
Oh, I pushed the button. 15 days, 17 hours, and 26 minutes until our flight.
I'm gonna
takes
start.
off.
I'm gonna start pre-recording.
I have a countdown.
I'm gonna start pre-recording on Monday. I think I'll start pre-recording some videos for while we're away. So,
any chance you do a video of the best goals you've ever seen? Was watching a replay of Ovechkin's The Goal, and it made me think about it.
The problem is I don't use highlights, so
that would be tricky.
Me describing a goal.
We could grab you some like dolls or stuffies or something. We've got stuffies.
I've got that in here.
Got stuffies to spare.
I've got that in here.
I've got
Gritty.
I am sure
got,
there are ways
the mascot for the Wranglers.
Recreate goals.
I've got my monkey there. I've got a dragon. I have various stuffies.
Will you guys throw something on the grill when Bettman retires? Like barbecue, or are they intending something else? I do like the barbecue.
They've started plans.
My favorite is barbecued ribs and asparagus.
They've started plans for his retirement.
Only way to have asparagus.
He's retiring in a couple years. He is 72,
right.
So eventually.
We've talked about that. Yeah. How we knew it'd be not too long.
Yeah. I'm gonna be upset if I never get to meet him.
Has anyone ever misplaced a pillowcase inside of a duvet cover after putting the cover over the duvet? It's usually my socks. Not usually a pillowcase, because to put on a duvet cover, you turn the duvet cover inside out, and then you grab the duvet, and then you shake it, and then get it to go right side out. And so pillowcases don't get stuck.
Welcome
socks,
to the hockey live stream.
However, get stuck. And then I'm missing socks. I think half of my socks that are missing are probably in my children's rooms, though.
You scratched this jersey, though. You're going outside.
Outside? But it's cold out there, Dad.
Well, she'll behave.
According to the rules, what's the penalty for choking a guy? Or rather, what's the penalty for choking a guy unless it's Marshawn?
That'd be a game. That's 5 in a game right there.
LOL. Yeah, I was thinking steaks. Steaks are so expensive, though.
Yeah,
Steaks are so expensive. It is
They are.
really rare that we buy steak because it's so expensive.
I would say it's more well done that we get steak than rare. Not really a big fan of rare.
Yeah, we don't do rare meat.
No.
Watching
Is
from the
Pixel crying?
Philippines. Oh, I bet it's way warmer there. She probably might have her toy.
Yep, there she goes, howling at her string. Pixel has a string she carries around her mouth, and she howls while she's carrying it. The only fix is you go over and play with her for a couple of minutes, and then she's okay. That's what the howling's for.
It's like this little rope, and she will put it in her mouth and walk around the house, and it sounds like she's crying, but she loves her little rope.
You would think she's in actual physical pain.
It's her favorite, but she does. It sounds like she's crying.
Sort of like when this one, every time I put her down, how much she yells. You would think she's in some distress. Nah, she just wants me to do this.
I like my steak medium or medium well. Us too. I grew up, we raised cows, and so we always had our own meat. So I was raised on lots of beef. It was rare that we had other meat.
Right.
But I definitely cook meat well. Okay. Our groceries expensive in Canada as well. Yes, not as expensive as it is in the States though. No. We used to every once in a while cross the border because there's a lot more variety in the States, but now it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like a case of soda will cost the same in the States as Canada, but in American, which is a lot of money.
So it's like 35% more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is expensive here. But American groceries are a lot more. At least in this part of Canada and this close to us part of the States. I thought it would be a game. So what's your opinion on Marshawn's choke last night?
I'm not getting into anything that happened in games for the rest of the season. I'm done. Nah. Last time I was like, the comment section is okay. Well, all right, I'm done. I'm done with my hot takes from here. You guys can argue amongst yourselves. I'll just tell you what happened at the game, and that's it.
My hair looks like a completely different color on the camera. That's weird. I think Shannon should take Gary Bettman's place as commissioner. Veto.
No, I wouldn't like being commissioner. That'd be a terrible job.
Veto.
That is a very thankless job. As thankless as being a referee as commissioner is more thankless.
I don't know that Shannon would handle
and I don't have the
him
business or legal background for that job. The person that the owners are going to look for is not a guy making videos with a bunch of jerseys behind him.
Yeah,
that could be like let's let this guy decide the future of the league.
It's not just the hockey that you would need to know.
No,
that would be a very minor.
They'll probably hire external. They'll probably hire external.
Yeah, it's not the hockey part that you need to be an expert on for commissioner.
Not at all.
Did the Caps get Thompson extension done?
Not yet. I didn't see it yet. It's going to be pricey when they do get it done, though. He's been one of the best in the league.
Oh, somebody asked your opinion on the Mitchell and Ness jerseys, those new ones.
I haven't seen the new ones, but the first time around, the colors were wrong.
Yeah.
So that was the problem.
They almost look like fakes.
It's close. The colors are just wrong.
But they're not as bad quality as fakes, but they don't look right.
Because I saw the Neely one, I saw the McKinnon one, and a few of the others, and I was like, the colors are just wrong. Because I have the jerseys back here, and I know what color they're supposed to be, and the ones Mitchell and Espo, their colors were wrong. So I just couldn't do it. It would drive me insane. Some of them too, the stripes were the wrong size. It was like that. They never had stripes that big. So yeah.
I think the offsides rule should have a time limitation on when it can be implemented. If a team is offside but scores after 2 or 3 minutes of possession, it's not fair to take that goal away.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep. I've seen it where it's almost a full minute. And my argument has been the only time that they care about whether or not the play is actually offside is when they want to take a goal off the board, which to me is weird. So it's like, okay, we care about the offside rule only if it's going to take away a goal. And most of the time it's like a frame by frame. And then, these 2 frames show he was offside. So he didn't really get an advantage of it. I think if you watch it at full speed and you can't tell, there you go.
I
So-
think if they have to go back and do the frame by frame look at it, it should go.
Yeah.
Just let it. If you have to look that closely,
Yeah,
it's
you're
fine.
not getting an advantage out of it, especially if it's that long that you're in the zone after. So
We don't
there's
need
been
to
a lot
turn
of
into
goals.
football.
Been a lot of really good goals too that have been taken off the board because of the offside rule.
The new commissioner needs to figure out TV situation.
That's a headache. We're in the midst of a transition in sports in terms of how people consume it. I think the NHL's a little behind the curve. WWE's viewing numbers on Netflix have dropped, so that might be a bit of a red flag for sports that are considering Netflix as an option or some of the streaming options too. And I'm still interested to know what the numbers are for Amazon Prime, because it's kind of a headache for me to have every game on TV except one. And so I have to have a tablet running so I can watch that one game, because I'm not going to click off of cable, go to a different app, watch part of that game, go back to the cable. It's just not going to happen. So
I think it's
not a great
ridiculous that
situation.
people pay for, like, we pay for center ice, but you still don't have access
$150.
to all of the games.
$150 a year. Now they're saying that's not enough to watch all the hockey games. Now you got to have Amazon Prime too, which is another $79 a year. Actually, I think it's $99 now for Prime for the year.
Is it?
I think so. So yeah.
Do y'all have weekend plans heading to Vancouver?
I'm going to be
hockey.
watching 13 games tomorrow, and then Sunday it's hockey all day, but it's done relatively early, so my weekend plans are pretty much in
Hockey.
here.
We don't get to do things on weekends.
No.
It's hockey.
No, my days to do things are like maybe Monday, maybe a Wednesday,
Yep.
and then maybe on Friday night.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So I haven't had a weekend in years.
Yeah. Our daughter's birthday's on Sunday though, so we're doing stuff for her birthday. Yeah, that's it. I pay $250 for Sportsnet Plus for all the games. Doesn't everybody pay that in Canada?
But you still wouldn't get the Amazon Prime
Right.
game. The Amazon Prime game would not be available for that.
If you can have the choice of having another North American pro sports team in Vancouver, for which league would you choose? NFL, MLB, or NBA?
NBA. I think that Vancouver would support the NBA better now than it did the first time around. The tricky part for getting an expansion team in Vancouver would be the expansion fee. The fee is going to be over $1 billion US, and I don't know anybody that's going to want to spend over $1 billion in Vancouver just to get a basketball team.
True. I see a lot of people asking you about the Utah name situation.
Mammoth. Done. They can reapply. They can mess around with the trademark. There may be other names that are similar, but they don't have to worry about the trademark rights. It's a sign of a team that was hurriedly moved. This is one of those things where if this had been planned for a year and then the move took place, probably wouldn't have these concerns. It's because of the timeline being so short that we're seeing these kinds of issues.
I'm still behind your initial suggestion of Utah Miners.
We can't have Predators versus Miners. We
No.
just can't.
No.
We cannot.
No.
I can't be having my videos demonetized all the time because of the words. I'm already surprised I don't get in trouble for how many times the word kill gets mentioned in every single review.
Right.
So, because I know if I was on TikTok, I'd have all kinds of problems with that. I'd have to be like, they unalived the power play. And that doesn't sound right. That sounds even worse. In my opinion, that sounds worse. But
very much appreciate your channel. What time frame do you believe the Sharks will become a solid playoff caliber team?
I'll say 2 more years. So this season is going to go down this road that has been it's been discouraging the last couple of weeks with San Jose, but I think they'll show progression next year. And then the following season, if things go the way that Mike Greer would have them planned, we'll start seeing them at least, fighting for and maybe above the playoff line.
When did it become so popular to chant, "Refs, you suck"?
It's been over the last 5 years.
Yeah, it
and
feels
it's ridiculous.
pretty recent, and it's
It's ridiculous.
single game.
It's in every league. It's everywhere. And they chant it before games. They chant it during games, after games, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't hurt the referee's feelings. The only thing that it seems that maybe it does, and I haven't got like actual data research on this. I've been surprised how many times the fans are chanting "Ref, you suck," and then the team gets a power play within a few minutes of that chant. And I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's a pattern, but it's something I've noticed where they make a call, they do the "Ref, you suck" chant, and then a few minutes later they get a call, and usually it's like it's holding or it's holding the stick, and I'm like, but was that more egregious than the other one that they were chanting for? And so, like, part of my brain's like, referees probably get influence, and I'm not sure if it's conscious or not. It was something that was talked about in 2020 when there weren't fans in attendance, how referees called the game differently
Right.
when there weren't fans watching in attendance.
I mean, that
in
makes
person.
sense, though.
You get more calls as the home team. So it's just one of those weird things. I don't even think referees are necessarily aware of it.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Y'all have any disagreements when it comes to players you watch? If so, whom?
Not really.
Yeah.
Usually if I think a player's a bonehead, you agree with me and vice versa. So
We don't watch hockey like that. Where
she doesn't like watching it with me anyways.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Because I flip around constantly.
Right. So I will sometimes.
She doesn't even know
watch
how I
hockey.
absorb any of the information I'm watching because it's so
No.
fast that I'm scrolling through
I
the
can't
channels.
watch 4 games at a time. No, I can't.
I had 11 at the same time the other night that I was scrolling between. So
I
thought of you when I was doing that too. I was like, Yvonne would hate this. This would just be like torture for her.
It really is. It does not make me happy. I don't.
No.
So we don't watch a lot. Every once in a while he'll call me and say, "Hey, come look at this," or something like that. But for the most part, we don't watch hockey together.
Yeah.
Well, it might just be a correlation since at least some of the chants happen for missed calls and we see makeup calls for missed calls.
Yeah. And I think that when they start that, it probably alerts them. They may not even know what happened. And I think one thing that we forget as fans is the game is really fast and they may just very well have missed it. I am very happy when I'm watching a broadcast and I hear the commentators say, the referees missed this, rather than I can't believe they didn't call that. The connotations there are completely different. One is the referee did not see that play, and the other one is the referee is intentionally screwing my team. That is a very different interpretation, and some announcers are very passionate about this referee is screwing over our team. And it's like, I know what people are going to complain about in the comment section when these games are done tonight. I know exactly what's coming. So yeah.
Yep. Yvonne, as one of your mods of the Discord, how do you put up with us? You have the patience of a saint.
I heard about the Discord yesterday.
I was on Discord for quite a bit yesterday.
You were.
Telling people, seriously, you guys are toddlers, knock it off. I have children, that's how. No, I am very appreciative of the mods because I am not on there very often at all. I do every once in a while go on there, mostly the game day chats. If I see that a game is especially contentious, I will go on to
I'll alert her too.
Game
There's
day
times
chats.
where I'm like, you might want to watch the Discord because this just happened. If
certain things happen with teams, certain teams more especially, I will go on to the team chats, but for the most part, I leave it up to the mods, and I know the mods have it.
The mods do a great job.
I trust the mods. They know my stance on no being a jerk.
True.
Yeah. Number 1 rule, don't be an ass. So the mods know that.
Rule number 2 is refer back to rule number 1 and make sure you follow it.
Yeah. See, all problem solved.
Yep.
As a fan, Buffalo or Kansas City?
For football? Man, I would love to see the Bills finally win something. I thought it was funny too that the NFL fines a player for something he said when he didn't say it, complaining about the officials handing things to Kansas City. And and I can say this because I'm not an NFL channel. I agree. There have been times where a team I root for is against the Chiefs, and I'm like, that's pass interference. That is not pass. Are you kidding me? And so, yeah, I've definitely had those moments. It's part of the reason I'm not as into the NFL as I used to be. There were too many times where there'd be some weird call, and I'd be like, that seems kind of screwy. They let that go in the first half, and they called it there. I don't think so. So, yeah.
Has anybody ever approached you for sponsorship opportunities? Every day.
Every day.
I've always appreciated your content and have been around since the early days. Impressive where you've taken this.
I have never.
Daily.
I don't take it. The closest that I get is Geeky Jerseys. Sends
Fanatics,
me stuff.
Kind of.
Fanatics is kind of
it's not a
with me a
sponsorship
little
because
bit.
they don't pay us.
Yeah, I don't get paid for any of that.
And they have no say over
what I do with the video or how I talk about things.
We just send them a link afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, it is funny. We get emails. So I go through the emails. We get emails asking Shannon to do sponsorships with makeup companies, a lot of makeup companies, a lot of video games, lots of video games, different computer programs, everything. We get asked about sponsorships for everything.
And I won't do it. Unless something
HelloFresh
horrible takes place.
HelloFresh, I was not very polite to them the last time because they wouldn't drop it.
Our problems with HelloFresh, yeah, we'll never use them again.
Nah, and I let them know why we would never.
Nope. We absolutely.
Oh, but we can give you free meals. Nah.
So they can rot at our front door.
Betting companies. Yes.
Yeah. No.
And they always start out with, I've been a fan of your channel, or I've been watching your videos and I really liked, and then they'll plug in the name of a video. How about we sponsor some videos? And I'll usually respond with, you've never watched any of our videos.
Nope.
So that's funny.
My favorite is when it's, hello, YouTuber. Yes. We were watching your video. No, you don't know who I am.
It'll be some random video like review of games.
We really like your content. No, you don't. You like how many subscribers I have. Piss off. Give me a break.
Here Comes the Money has been an earworm lately.
Shane O'Mac.
Yeah. Hello, fellow YouTuber. Yeah.
Yes. Hello, him or her, whoever we might be writing to.
HelloFresh's free meals isn't really a thing, right? It's not.
We were down. It's an entertaining story in retrospect. Not for you. But for me,
I was so
irritated. We were down in Las Vegas, and HelloFresh was going to deliver a meal to our door, or the whole package for the week.
A box of meals.
And so she contacted them and said, look, we're in Las Vegas. Nobody's there to pick up what you're dropping off. Don't drop it off. And they said, we can't stop it.
4 days before. Okay. This was 4 days before. I had already tried to cancel it.
Yep.
I got the email. As soon as I got the email, 4 days ahead, I called them and explained to them, we're not home. We're not even in the country. And it was like 40 degrees. It was stupid hot.
It was during a
August.
heat wave here. Yeah,
right.
It was during a heat wave here.
And I told them, we're not home. Please don't drop the box of food in front of our door. We won't be home to pick it up. It is going to sit there for a week. Please don't.
In the heat.
Well, we can't cancel it now. You guys are down the block. Don't tell me you can't cancel it. You're just down the street. Just don't drop the box off. Like, there's no button in your computer that don't drop it off. No. So we got home and there was a box of food at our door a week later in the heat. I was so ticked, and I let them know how unhappy I was. And they offered to give me like 30% off of more meals. No, I'm not giving you guys more money. I'm not doing it. Like, do you not get it? What the hell? But yeah. And then they wanted to sponsor some videos. And I let them know exactly what I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if they let me say whatever I wanted to in the sponsor.
Right.
Have you ever thought, I haven't had rotten food at my door in a while. How can I fix that? HelloFresh can deliver food to your door when you're not even there.
You should have sent it back to him. I could have just drove it to the little
Yeah.
HelloFresh warehouse. Yeah, telling the guy, no, you guys are just down the street. It's just like, what is that? A kilometer away?
Maybe. And
so irritated. That was a whole lot of money that we just had to throw away. What a waste.
Isn't it like $100 for a week? About that?
No, it's more than $100.
So that's how much just got burned on our front porch because they wouldn't not drop it off.
But anyways, so that's why we will not sponsor HelloFresh.
No.
Or recommend it.
No.
Or give out those coupons.
Well,
nah.
I rip them up when they come.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, okay. So I get the HelloFresh coupons in the mail weekly. Everyone throws them in the trash.
And they're right to do so.
They do them secret now. We got one like 2 days ago. It was in an envelope. It was addressed to me. You couldn't see who it was from.
That was from HelloFresh?
It was.
Oh my gosh.
So I opened it up and it was from HelloFresh.
If I'd known
like,
that,
oh my gosh, you guys are all sneaky. I'm still not buying it.
Oh, when you came home, did you get what was on the bed?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the IDs that.
Yes.
We're finally getting all the mail from when Canada Post was closed down. It's bare, of course.
What is your problem, Kat? Dear Lord. You realize you're ridiculous, right?
I hear you skip the dishes, drop my order of chicken nuggets off at the wrong house before fill your pay.
We had that with
yes.
DoorDash.
We had it happen twice where I'm walking around, see if I can find. I did find it. It was down the block.
And there was one time I contacted their support and I said, you left this at the wrong house. And they're like, well, can you go find it? What the hell? You dropped it off at the wrong house. Why do it's the wrong house.
Good luck.
I don't even know if it's in the neighborhood. Do you want me to just search the city?
We got somebody's Amazon parcel the other day too.
Yeah.
And it's not on this street. It's not on the street. It's 4 blocks away.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would come pick it up. They haven't. I need to just go and take it to the house or something. But that person saw the picture and like, that doesn't look a thing like my house.
I had that with Amazon too that one time, remember?
Yeah.
Where they dropped it off. I'm like, that's not my house. And then they even check and go, well, have you checked the front door? Well, since the picture wasn't my front door, I don't really have to, do I? Unless they dropped it off at somebody else's house, picked it up, and then brought it to my house and dropped it off and just sent me the other picture. Like, oh my gosh.
And skip the dishes is terrible for that. They do not care who gets the food.
Skip the dishes.
It's nuts.
I had an instance a few weeks ago where I didn't get my order. I got like half of it.
Yeah.
And I submitted a request and they're like, your request for a refund's been denied. I didn't get my food. Like, holy crap. I don't understand. Hi there. I know.
Imagine if someone actually looked for the package. Yeah, I feel bad. There's no way the person would have found the parcel because we're on a cul-de-sac. So there's no way they would come anywhere near this. But you have to like turn 3 times to even get to the street that theirs was on. And I tried to look them up on Facebook and their name's not even on there. So, because I was going to message them of, hey, I've got something of yours. Do you guys think that the people who make and star in the Christmas movies you've reviewed know how silly the movie is? Do they know the plot is pretty much the same in every one and such?
We saw that with Hot Frosty.
I think so.
Lacey Chabert knows. She is well aware, and I think she's fantastic for it. I think Lindsay Lohan knows too. They both ham it up pretty good in those movies.
Yeah, I think they know because they act different. They don't act the same.
But remember, it's part of my new dark universe.
Is terrible.
The Christmas movies are part of my new dark universe. They are horror movies. Once you figure out the actual reality of what's happening, they're horror movies.
Do you guys just eat food delivery? No, we don't. It sucks over here in England. I live at 47. They delivered my pizza to 74. And then another driver got lost. Saw him drive by past my house 3 times.
I've seen that.
We've watched them where it shows you where they're going. Like, why is he going that direction? He's getting further away. Remember
I've had times on
Skip drivers.
I had a time on Skip where it was so-and-so's picked up your order. And then they just disappeared off the map. And then it was the restaurant started your order. I'm like, so they just took my food? My food is gone. They've stolen it and it's finished now. Where did that person go? Did they enjoy my food?
Or you see them taking a really long route and you're thinking, how many food deliveries are they doing?
Yeah.
How cold is this going to be by the time it gets
And there's
to me?
times where it's frozen when it gets here. Like, it is so cold, it's just gross. So,
have the Sens completely forgotten how to score?
it's a confidence thing, I think, with them. I think with Ottawa, one thing to keep in mind is that there's some guys there who have been through a lot of rough seasons where they don't make the playoffs. And so I feel like they're a little more fragile in terms of their self-confidence, and it's kind of easy to knock them off their game. And last night, after that one goal was called back because the referee had blown the whistle, they weren't quite the same after that, because the puck was behind Korpisalo, but the referee blew the whistle, thought he had it. So he blew the whistle just before Ottawa knocked the puck in the net. And then Korpisalo got a shutout because Ottawa didn't score any goals last night. Technically, they should have had at least one.
Yeah.
So, and that second goal for Boston was an empty netter. So,
that would have completely, could have completely changed the game.
That's completely changed the game. If that goal counted.
Man.
Yep. I felt bad for him.
Have you guys ever been to Vancouver Island? Yep. I'm from Nanaimo. Yes.
I haven't. She has.
I have. I've been there
Someday.
several times. My kiddos, our daughter is in Girl Guides, so in the summer they have camp out there. Our son, the middle one, is in Scouts. They also do a camp out on the island, and I take the kids out on the island every once in a while. We've done like the whale watching, and
we try leaving them there, but they keep coming back.
What?
The kids, we keep trying to leave them on the island, but they keep finding their way home.
We've gone on that the skywalk thing.
The loop-de-loop?
Yeah, you have to. It's really cool.
Is that the technical term?
Probably, yeah. I don't know how you spell it, but
I don't know how you spell that at all.
Do you guys like where you live? I love where we live.
Absolutely. Beautiful part of the world.
I chose to live here.
Yep.
I could choose to live wherever in Canada I wanted. I chose Abbotsford. I love Abbotsford. I think Abbotsford is beautiful, fantastic. Part of the world. I think we live in one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yep. And
for Canada, we have the best weather.
Yeah. I would love to go though to, at some point I want to go to Banff and that area, Canmore.
Yes.
I think that'd be fantastic.
Yep. I really, really, really want to go. Do you ever get tired of the Canucks being the Canucks?
I expect it. And I hate to say it that way, but like I've been told I'm so negative, but I expect it. Like last year, I said enjoy it. They never stay at the top for very long. And a lot of people were like, why are you so negative? And now this year, they're not at the top. They're not even above the playoff line. So it's just, this is their brand. This is what they do.
And people are still paying the insane
cost
of tickets.
They've won 8 home games.
The ticket prices.
8. I think they've played 24 home games. They've won 8 of them. Oh, man. How depressing would that be?
Spending hundreds of dollars to see them lose miserably. That would be awful.
Yep.
Happy first stream of 2025. Shannon, would you say Montreal has arrived? And is Duck the answer at 2C?
I've always liked Kirby Doc. You're not going to get me to say a bad word about him. Montreal could use a couple of additions at the deadline if they really want to go for it. I don't know that Kent Hughes is going to do that this year. That race in the East is tough. If the Rangers can keep it up, that's going to make it more difficult. If Columbus can figure out their game on the road, that's going to make it more difficult. But it should be a fight right till the end.
Do you see Nashville rebuilding or retooling soon?
The plan, last I heard, Barry Trotz was planning on basically rearming this summer. So go through the rest of this year, sell off guys that are going to be on expiring contracts anyways, and then go for it again this summer. He doesn't think they're that far off.
Went to Kelowna and it was amazing stuff.
Kelowna's pretty. Not as pretty as here.
I'm not a big fan of Kelowna. I don't mind visiting there for short times, but I'm not a big fan of Kelowna.
Penticton's pretty. And Vernon can be very pretty
too. You prefer Abbotsford to Vancouver? Yes.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Definitely. So part of the reason that I picked Abbotsford is that it's within driving distance of Vancouver. So I can take the kids to the aquarium. I can take the kids to Science World. We can go to Chinatown or Metro Town or whatever, but we get to be in Abbotsford where we don't have the traffic. We don't have all the people. We have so many. If you look at a map of Abbotsford, you can see that we've got a lot of forest in the city. And so we can go on a walk where you feel like you're completely in the woods, but you're in town.
Yep.
We have a lot of that. We have a lot of little lakes, a lot of little rivers.
It's very nice.
It's awesome. But we also have a lot of amenities of being in a city, but we're not in a big city. So yes, I way prefer Abbotsford over Vancouver. I have no desire.
And then from a money perspective.
True. My family is from Burnaby. They all lived in Burnaby. I would not want to live in Burnaby. Stanley Park is awesome. Oh, that's, we go
Stanley
to
Park's beautiful.
I take the kiddos to Stanley Park.
Stanley Park's beautiful.
Fairly often. We do really like Stanley Park. When I was little, we would go ride our bikes on the seawall. And
when I was little, I remember going to Stanley Park and going to the aquarium. But that's back when they had Skeena, when they had the whales.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love those. Even when the boys were little, we had the belugas.
Because Skeena used to come out and she'd slap her fin to splash people. And I was right next to two people that got splashed. I didn't get a drop. It was great.
They used to have the fun orca shows.
Yep. I saw that right up close. It was great.
How does Abbotsford compare to the Seattle suburbs?
It's similar.
Not
on the water.
I don't like Seattle.
A lot of the Seattle suburbs are kind of on the water.
We're
not.
We've really only drove through and around the Seattle suburbs.
We got a really good look the last time we drove home, though.
Right. I hate driving in Seattle, so
the
GPS
was trying to make sure we took as long as humanly possible to get through Everett.
As we could.
Sending us down roads that the GPS should not have been sending us down.
Driving here is way better than Seattle suburbs.
Yes.
Our roads are better. We have sidewalks. I'm not a fan of Seattle.
What's your problem?
I hate driving in Seattle. We need cat weekly highlight videos.
Hi.
Where would you suggest someone go if they only had one trip to Canada? Oh,
Whistler.
Man. It would
Whistler and Vancouver.
It would really depend on what you were wanting out of your trip to Canada. I've never been to Quebec or Ontario, which I would love to.
Newfoundland is beautiful.
I would love to go to the Maritimes.
The Maritimes are very nice.
But
you want that small town feel. That's where you'll find
Vancouver area, Whistler, the island. Oh my gosh. I usually tell people if they can go out to the island because it is beautiful. I'm not really familiar with a lot of the rest of Canada other than BC and Alberta.
I've lived in Saskatchewan. I've lived in Ontario.
Nobody suggests for your one trip to Canada to go to Saskatchewan. But what are you doing, Bear?
I lived in Ontario. I haven't been to Quebec. What is your problem?
But Vancouver is a really cool place to go on holiday. If you've never been to Canada, there's so much. The seawall is about 3-hour ride bikes around. It's great.
It's beautiful.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Like you have the water and the forest. It's amazing. We really do. We are very lucky where we live.
Yes.
Let's see. I would like to see wild Canada. We've got a lot of that. Want beautiful outdoors? Come to Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia. That would be awesome.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Cape Breton's beautiful.
How far east of the U.S. have you been? I've been to France. Do you mean in the U.S.?
Be what, Atlanta? You're at the Atlanta airport. Right
yeah, I've been in the New York airport and the Atlanta, Georgia airport.
There you go.
Actually being in the States. Oh, I've also been to
Missouri.
I've been to the Mall of America. I was like 12. We've been to
way to name drop. Mall of America.
We've been to that Tillman Bridge, and we touched Arizona. So
That's
that
right.
would be
I walked across that bridge right into Arizona.
East in the states that we've been.
I jumped up and down on the Pat Tillman Bridge and scared her. It was great. Which I think was a fat remark about me. I still think if she thinks I can damage the bridge by jumping up and down on it, then
I don't like bridges.
She really doesn't.
I know it's irrational. I don't like bridges. Bear has both of you wrapped around her paw. It's true.
Have you heard her? She doesn't give us a choice. She cries like she's dying constantly. And she'll do that to me all night while I watch hockey games. It drives me insane.
I've only been to Edmonton so far. Like, out of all of Canada, you've only been in Edmonton?
You know, the funny
that's
thing is,
unfortunate.
I've been to Edmonton twice. I don't think the West Edmonton Mall is the best mall in Edmonton. I think it's the Kingsway. I think it's Kingsway Mall. I think that's what it's Kingsway. I preferred that one. I went there and I was like, this is a much better mall. West Edmonton Mall is just big. My opinion is just big. There's 3 of everything in it. So, like, we'll meet you outside Victoria's Secret. Which one? There's like 8 of them. So, like, that kind of thing.
Could meet at Lids.
There's like 10 of those.
Right.
Like, it's just insane.
Oh, skipped. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Permit for Utah Yeti denied. I really want the Utah UFOs.
They'll figure something out.
Utah
Somehow it'll be
Outlaws. We've not been to any games in Alberta. We haven't been able to travel a lot. We have not seen games all over the place. We have 3 kiddos, and neither of us were from families that were ever able to have enough money to travel. So even going places is very new to either of us.
I went decades without leaving Chilliwack.
Traveled very much at all. We've been to Vancouver games, of course. We've been to Anaheim and Vegas.
I went almost 20 years between trips to Vancouver.
That's it.
So yeah, it was a long time between me going from one place to another. I was always in Chilliwack for almost like 20 years there. Never left town.
I've never been like that.
I didn't have much choice. Financially, there wasn't an option.
Is Alvin's job safe if the Nucks miss the playoffs? It's been a roller coaster under him. Lots of highs and lows. Tocchet needs to take some blame for this locker room mess.
I think Alvin's job is safe. I don't know with Tocchet once the season's done, but I've also heard, I'll agree with, I think it was Frankie Corrado that said Tocchet can just leave and go back to TNT. So if he decides this isn't worth it, he can walk away. And so that's always something that could happen. I don't know that it necessarily does, but Tocchet, when he was in Arizona, every year the Coyotes seemed to get more predictable and less fun to watch. And the Canucks, it's kind of a predictable game they're playing. If you watch them play, you know what they're going to do next. So does everybody else. So that makes it more difficult to win.
Wrestling question. Mankind or Undertaker?
As a wrestler, Undertaker. But if I was going to sit down and have a beer with one or the other, it'd be Mick Foley. Mick's stories would be absolutely fantastic.
As someone living in Edmonton, I gotta kind of agree with Kingsway Mall being the better mall, though the traffic and the LRT is a bit of a pain sometimes.
Good. See, I wasn't sure if anybody would agree with me on the Kingsway Mall. It's about the same size as like the big one down here, Metrotown. It's about the same size as Metrotown, but just because it's in the same city as the West Ed Mall, it doesn't get as much attention, but much nicer mall, I thought. I found more stuff to buy, too.
Do you think this is the 1-year emotional high for Columbus, or can they keep building success in the future?
With Don Waddell as the GM, phoned it in. They could have fallen apart, and we all would have said, well, it's understandable with all the trauma and everything, but they fought through it, and they're playing pretty well.
Do you think Ovi gets the record this year? He is 20 goals away.
I'm going to be contrarian and say no. I'm going to say he's like 5 goals short, and then he gets it early next season.
I don't know. If he's 5 goals short, they're going to do like what they were doing last year, where they do everything they possibly can to let him score the goals.
They won't be doing that if they're fighting for first overall.
It's obnoxious watching that.
If they're fighting for first overall, they won't be trying to feed him goals. They're going to try to hold the lead. They're playing a different style of hockey right now.
I've told everyone it'll be in 2025. When is the Garth Butcher career video coming?
I haven't done one on Garth Butcher. Eventually I could. I always felt bad that basically the Canucks got all the best out of him and then they traded him when his play started to dip a little bit. And he was never quite the same. Like, he was a really good defenseman for Vancouver, just because they only had 2 of them, he got played a lot. And yeah, by the time he got traded to St. Louis, it felt like he was already a little past his prime because Vancouver wore him out.
I'd be interested in a video on players in Four Nations tournament that are also pending UFAs, and which of those players might be influenced by a Four Nation teammate to come to their NHL team in summer.
Well, since Florida has so many players in the Four Nations tournament, networking can help, and Florida could get even more good players this coming summer. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, how old is Bear?
She's 11 years old. She turned 11 in September.
Both Bear and Shadow are 11. Pixel
10.
is 10. And Azrael and Maple are 2.
Yes. And Azrael and Bear fight over me.
It's true.
They both have decided that they can be my cat. And as far
Gosh,
as Azrael's concerned,
Azrael, she can be so obnoxious. She's just about to Bear level. She will insist.
well, like I'll be laying in bed at night, and Bear lays right here on my arm while I'm laying in bed. And now Azrael gets right up on my side because I lay on my side, and she'll be like almost nose to nose with Bear, and I'm like, I'm not having a cat fight right on top of me, so stop it. But she'll pretend she's sleeping, and then her paw starts coming out towards Bear. Like, I'm so tired. No, you're not. Stop it. Knock it off.
Cat for up my nose.
Hey, kitty. And then you bit her tail the other night.
What's your opinion on the Oilers this season?
The Oilers I think they have a team that can go to the Stanley Cup final again. The one thing I do wonder is, will Skinner and Pickard get them back there? Skinner can be a big game goaltender. He did that last spring. Every year can be different. And I do wonder if the defense holds up over a 4-series run, but I'd love to see a Canadian team win a Stanley Cup. I would love to see that finally take place.
Speaking of career videos, Carey Price, or will that be after his contract is over?
It kind of has to wait until his contract's officially done, kind of, sort of, because I know he's done. I know he's finished, but there's always a chance that he could he could get into a game somewhere down the maybe next year. So even though the possibility is almost completely zero, he's moved and everything else, I'd still be concerned that as soon as I put out a video, it would be Price is starting a comeback, and then and all the comment section is going to be, I don't know why you made this. He's still active. And it would be the day after I made that video that he'd be like, I'm going to try a comeback. Damn it.
What do you think about Tony DeAngelo going to the Islanders? Oh,
the Islanders need offense on their blue line. With Dobson being injured, they desperately need offense on the blue line. That's all DeAngelo gives them. So he'll be out on power plays. He'll probably be on the third pairing. And you have to try to minimize the damage he does defensively. He is pretty darn bad defensively. There's numerous reasons that a GM might be concerned with DeAngelo, and the prime reason, I think, is his defensive game really needs work. I don't know who you put him with. I don't know if you put him with Mayfield. Like, it'll be interesting to see how the pairings work with him.
Do you like Brett the Hitman Hart and the Hart family?
The Hart Foundation was my favorite faction. I would say in wrestling history, back when they had Neidhart, the Bulldog, Pillman, and Owen. That group was so entertaining, and they were so good. And the fact that every time they wrestled in Canada, they were cheered. And every time they wrestled in the U.S., they were booed. And Canada and the U.S., they'd go back and forth with Raw. That was some of my favorite times watching wrestling.
Please make a Price video. If you jinx it, I promise I'll be too elated to call you out.
It's one of those things I think about, like, until they've officially retired.
Can't get over how chill Bear is. So sweet. My 11-year-old cat is like this as well. Opposite from my younger cat. Oh, she's definitely
She's always been like that. Bear has always been a very snuggly,
cat.
needy.
So needy.
She's also an emotional support animal for me.
True.
I was having a hard day a few days ago, and she knew. And so she was following me everywhere, and she kept jumping up into my lap. And she was very, very, she wasn't like bugging me. She was like you see with the animals. And so I realized she's kind of my emotional support cat. She just doesn't understand I don't always need an emotional support animal. There's days where I'm okay, and she can go to sleep, and she can leave the room and do stuff. But she generally just stays in this room all day.
Pray for me, THG. I'll be supporting New Jersey and Philly Monday, wearing my Stevens jersey.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Philly fans just seem so reasonable. And I'm thinking back to ECW days and going, sure, I'll go with that. Reasonable, sure. You should be fine.
How do the Penguins get out of hockey purgatory?
The difficult part for the Penguins is you've got Malkin, Letang, and Crosby signed to contracts, and you're not going to go into a full rebuild without discussing it with Crosby. He's earned that. He is your franchise guy. I don't think there's going to be a rebuild. The word on what Pittsburgh's doing is they want young players, prospects, but they want guys who can play in their lineup. And if they make any trades, it's not going to be a full sale. So they do want to make their team younger, but they want to do it on the fly. Maybe Kyle Dubas is looking at what Washington did, and he's trying to emulate that a little bit because Washington showed how it was done.
Oh, where's Shadow? Is he over there?
Oh. No, he's not in here. But I don't hear any growling, so he's
not
interacting with Pixel.
We kind of have a shortage of cats in here right now.
He's probably still on the treadmill. I did my treadmill this afternoon, so after I do the treadmill, the cats like to be on the treadmill.
Shadow and Pixel were laying on it.
She's a secret girlfriend. She just doesn't like it. He loves Pixel. She hates his guts. So he just gets right up in his... He was trying that too. She's laying on the treadmill, and he just comes walking up and goes to sniff her nose. I'm like, do you understand? Stop it. Yeah, hi, Pixel. No. She's going to smack you and hiss at you, and she hates you. And
have you ever managed to organically get a photo of all your cats at the same time? Yes.
Oh, yes, we have.
On the bed.
I've done it in here.
I've done it once. A few times. I had
Pixel in here the one time, and I took a picture of all 5 of them.
I tried to get a picture of all 5 of them a couple of days ago because 4 of them were on the cat tree and Pixel was on the ground by the cat tree. Right. But it was really difficult to get all of them. Sometimes we'll have all 5 on our bed. It's super cozy. And then sometimes they'll all be in the room where we have the treadmill. A lot of cats like to hang out in that room.
Yeah.
I put it has a larger window, and so I put a bird feeder and a squirrel feeder. And so it's like kitty TV. And so they like to hang out in that room and stare out the window. And that's what Shadow and Maple were doing when we came in here. They were watching the birds.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. NFL and Major League Baseball contracts are mad these days. Agreed. It's a ton of money, but that's because that's what those leagues are making. That's what those leagues can afford to pay. And so they pay what they can. And by paying those ridiculous amounts, you make it far less likely that they're going to fight with you about it. And then I don't think there's any kind of salary cap movement, like an actual hard salary cap movement with the NFL and baseball. I think at this point, if there was ever going to be any kind of salary cap, we'd have it already. So don't be surprised when the contracts just keep going up and up and up.
How did it go explaining that you were doing YouTube as a job to close friends and family?
There were people that thought I was crazy. There were people at my old job that didn't know you could actually make money on YouTube. And then there were some that didn't realize they were insulting me by saying, oh, you can do that? Oh, I can probably do that then too. I was like, it sounds like an insult. Kind of sounds like, well, if anybody's watching you, anybody can do it. It kind of sounded like that to me.
There's a bun.
Hi, baby.
There's a bunny in here.
Hi.
Would people get mad if you held Bear for the news of the day video?
They have.
Yeah, people do get mad.
I've had people get mad at me for holding her up during videos.
Yep.
Hey, baby.
People get mad at everything. If Shannon does anything different, there are going to be people that are mad. People do not want things to change. There are some people that watch Shannon and want everything in a particular way, and they get upset, and they will let us know.
I can't change anything.
Yeah. There are people that, because they watch all the time, they feel like they have a say in how Shannon should
Or
present things.
if I ever do a power rankings that doesn't include the puck board, it's
Oh my
meltdown
gosh.
time.
Oh my goodness.
It's how dare you? You have to use the puck board. And it's like,
and me being in the one power ranking video.
Oh my gosh. That was, yeah. So
meltdowns.
insane.
People had meltdowns.
With THG showing Islanders love, what would be a similar John Tavares style trade that would bring out all the hate? Hope you're both doing well. Bring out all the hate of the Islanders? Or, I mean, if anybody, like if Anders Lee decided he wanted out and if he went to the Rangers, that's still a line I think that's far worse than going to Toronto. I think if you cross that line, be like if Panarin decides, I'm kind of done with the Rangers and went to the Islanders, it's going to be some friction there.
People demand playoff beard and goatee, Shannon.
No, I look like an 80-year-old prospector.
True.
I don't plan on getting a pickaxe, so it's just not going to work if I'm not going to have a pickaxe. I'd look silly without a pickaxe.
People are so ridiculous. The sense of entitlement these days disgusts me. And that's what it feels like, entitlement. Yep. Like they feel like they should have a say.
I remember there was a time a few years ago where I don't remember what it was, but I wasn't able to review a game. And I had people saying, well, this goes against your channel.
Yeah, it's
you have to review that game. That's your job. And that was when I started to realize, okay, I can take the occasional night off because this is ridiculous. I have made it so that I actually can't not watch a game. And it was on a night where there was one game on and people were mad. And I was like, okay, that seems like a little bit of an overreaction and an expectation that
God forbid he does something with his family.
Yeah. And that's what it was. I think we were on vacation.
Every once in a while, his family can see him at nighttime. Because we don't usually get to. Yeah, it's a rare thing. How many whiteboards have you gone through? Oh my gosh.
I'll say 50.
If
we're not including
that would be hard.
If we're including all the ones I have now.
We have a lot. We have so many whiteboards.
I probably have about 20 of them now, but I get rid of them when they get scratched.
Right.
And
it's a lot.
They can get scratched up.
It's a lot of whiteboards, but they do last quite a while.
They do. I've got one in here that I know I've had for 5 years because I take good care of it.
The puck board is cool, though, especially with Yvonne helping. Thank you.
That's not what the comment section said.
No, and then that one year for Christmas, I made a quilt that was a Christmas tree, and I put like 30, wasn't it 31 then?
Yeah.
Little things on it so he could hang like ornaments for each team for the power ranking because it landed like on Christmas Eve or something. People were so upset.
Worst performing power rankings I ever did.
It was awful. I made a quilt for it. I thought it was cool. But people like to ruin all the fun. People were lame.
I felt bad. I didn't use it this year, but I just
last year.
Man,
we've only used that quilt that I made once.
Yeah. Because there was so much negative feedback, and I was like, okay. So if I find another use for it, I'll find another use for
quilt.
it. I know.
Just for hockey.
I'll find another use for it at some point.
If an NHL team offer you a job, would you accept it?
It would really depend where it was, what it was, and what it entailed.
It would have to be online.
Yeah.
Like it would have to be a remote job for that to even work.
One thing is that as soon as you have an employer, you have to be very wary of what you're saying and doing on the internet. So with me having a very public channel, let's just say the Canucks offered me something, I would probably get pulled aside and told, you could just, cut down on the negativity, focus on the positives. What positives? And then I'd be fired for saying what positives?
We get this comment a lot. Have you ever considered switching to PowerPoint and having a little screen behind you?
God, no.
We've had that comment for years. No, it was so cute. My girlfriend about the quilt. Thank you. I really liked it.
I liked it too. But
I was pretty proud of it.
It does come down to, so how much of a hassle is this going to be? And then, if it's going to drive view counts down tremendously, which it can, The power rankings where she's just in the background, doesn't even speak. That power rankings did way less views than all the other ones I've done this year. So message received.
You should use it randomly in July. People would have meltdowns too.
I could do a Christmas in July video though. That could be good.
You make me so happy, THG. Go Leafs. Go. Meow.
All right. Anyways, should get going. Hockey's getting started now. So I have 2 games I'll be watching now, and then there's 2 more later. Stormtroopers are at the Islanders game. So that's, I guess it's Star Wars night.
Oh.
Because they have a Millennium Falcon and Stormtroopers there.
They have that Ducks
We're going to
Day.
see them in a few weeks.
We're down in California. We just missed Ducks Day, and it's really sad because I saw...
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Was it? Oh, we'll have to look at pictures or something because I saw they were setting up the area for it, and it looked really cool.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. All right. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming out. Greatly appreciated. I hope everybody had a good week, and you have a great weekend. So we will do this again soon. Stay tuned for that. We're looking at Fridays is probably the best day to do for channel-wide. And then for members and patrons, we're looking at Sunday. So there you go. Thanks for coming out, and we will do this again soon.